1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
What's going on, people? What's going on? It is Wake Up 502 After Dark. This is your boy, Rashawn Myers, 96.1 FM, 1450 AM, Big X Sports Radio, streaming live across all your social media platforms. So happy to be here on this Thursday night with the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Haven Harrington. Haven, how you doing, brother?
Man, can't complain, brother, man. Can't complain.
I heard
Especially
that.
after last Friday. There's no complaints.
None. No, this week has been beautiful since the Cardinals took care of business last Friday down there in Coral Gables, got the win over Miami. We've been able to bask in the glow of, watching everybody else play, and it's actually back haven to the whole, trying to watch the other games to figure out where Louisville fits in, who needs to win, who needs to lose. Like, this is what it's all about, man. So we're definitely, of course, we on Wake Up 502 on Saturday morning, we did kind of the immediate reaction show and kind of, um, you know, uh, that whole deal of the elate, the happiness, the jubilation of the win. It's still kind of fresh. So now we can kind of go back and analytically look at everything, talk about what this means moving forward, talk about what needs to happen from here. Of course, a lot of people are worried about the whole Brom letdown game after all that good stuff.
It's
All
real.
those types. Hey, it is real. It is a thing that has happened in the past. So, it's understandable, but they're playing BC at home.
You know
And
what? We played Stanford last year,
I mean, it's
and we
true, but
played Pitt before that when they were the
that's
worst in the
that's
ACC.
that's fair. That is absolutely fair. But Louisville's at home this time, and that's the biggest difference between then and now. But we'll get into that. We will get into that, Haven. But first of all, like I said, I know we did kind of our immediate reactions after the big win in Miami. We've listened to everybody. We've listened to the excitement, all the people talking about, um, wanting to break down the ins and the outs, and just the kind of this the pure excitement of it. But now we're past that. Louisville's sitting. Of course, they still have a loss in the conference. Of course, they're still looking up at teams like Georgia Tech, Virginia, which is odd because they already lost to an ACC team this year. But I digress. They're still looking up at SMU as well. So, um, how are you feeling about this? Where does where I guess the question I want to ask you first is just now that you've kind of come down and you're starting to analytically look at the game, how do you feel about Louisville's season now? Like, is it okay to really start looking forward towards, the people talking about playoff and everything else? Are you ready to jump to that, or are you just kind of still wanting to see what this team can do to continue to build on this game against Miami?
So, two things. One, like you said, I watched a ton of national coverage about this game.
Yeah,
Not only ESPN, CBS Sports, uh, Josh Pate, a lot of other guys that have their national college football networks going around, just gorged myself on
yeah,
game reactions. And a couple of things that I found interesting um, was like at least 80% of those completely discounted Louisville as a team. Like
mm,
they almost were talking about us like we were the worst team in the Big 12, or we're just like some MAC team that got lucky to beat Miami. Like we weren't 5-1 coming, or yeah, we weren't 4-1 coming into the game with an overtime loss against Virginia. They were talking
yeah,
about us like like we're a surprise team. At least the guys who talk about college sports a lot. But, because we're not a blue blood or not an SEC or Big Ten, they just really don't pay attention to who we are.
So even with that win, you still feel like they're not taking Louisville seriously, basically.
They are not taking Louisville seriously, even with that win. And watch a lot of national shows. It's more about not what Louisville did well, but what Miami didn't do, and
Yeah.
are Miami frauds, rather than look what Louisville did. They played an excellent game, and I kind of understand that, because if you were to go back and watch Louisville throughout the season, this game was not an atypical game for Louisville, because we pretty much played mistake-free football, which what you
Yeah.
have to do if you're going to beat the number 2 team in the nation. So to answer your question, I guess a long way of answering your question is, from
Yeah.
here on out, I'm looking for Louisville to build upon what they did against Miami and to keep as much mistake-free football going forward as possible. Because I think as long as they play mistake-free football, there's not a team on our schedule we can't beat and or dominate. But we have to play that mistake-free football first.
Yeah, well, and that's the funniest thing about this whole deal is like I really struggle to figure out just exactly how good this Louisville team is. And I say that because every other game before now, it was like tripping and falling. I mean, we've given up defensive touchdowns in almost every game that we've played this year. And it's not been clean football. And this team seems like I feel like they have the opportunity to be a really good team. Like this team has the chance to be by far Brahms' most complete team, because it feels like they finally have an offense that can make you pay, and they also have a defense that can make you pay. And that'll be the first time that they've really had both during the same season in Brahms' tenure. Year one, it was much more about the defense because you couldn't trust Jack Plummer, and he just couldn't make the plays in the passing game that you needed to be dynamic enough offensively. And then year two, you had the super dynamic offense, but the defense was terrible. So like this team has the potential to be Brahms' most complete team since he got here. But Haven, I mean, you have the Isaac Brown fumble down at the end of the game. So it still was not necessarily a perfect game. So I don't know, but Miami was literally the best team in college football. Like I know that Ohio State was number one, but Miami had the best resume. They had been the most impressive, through the first 5 weeks of the season, 6 weeks of the season. So how good is Louisville? Like what in your opinion? I don't know only thing that I feel like I can trust is right now is that I know that Louisville has a good defense, which is amazing to say. I did not think that would be the one thing that I could hang my hat on, at the midway point of the season. But the only thing that I know for sure is that Louisville has a good defense.
But that's it, because the offense has obvious flaws. Obvious flaws. And the offensive line being one of those obvious flaws. But as we've been saying all year, and we've literally been saying this all year, you need to go to the quick passing game and just stick with that. Quick passing game, and hopefully the offensive line can learn how to run block, they can open up some lanes, and you can get some things to go. And that is exactly what Louisville did against Miami. I mean, Miller Moss had the ball in his hand. I think by game's end, he was averaging like 2.5 seconds before he threw the ball. So he didn't give the Miami's defensive line a chance to rush him. Because the couple of times they tried to go deep, I mean, they got to him. They may not have sacked him, but they got to him. They rushed him out of the pocket. And we know when Miller Moss gets out the pocket, he is horribly inefficient.
Yeah.
If he's not in the pocket, ready to go and throw.
Anytime he had to move his feet against Miami, it was something bad happened almost.
Pretty much.
Literally.
Pretty
literally, much. If he had to move 2 or 3 steps off his mark.
But the offensive line opened up gaping running holes for Isaac Brown. Isaac Brown, I think it helped that he was about 85% healthy. And it showed. He may not have had the top end speed he would normally have, but he was still shifting quick enough that he can exploit the holes offensive line gave him. Getting Trevante Sylvester back offensive line helped tremendously helped. But they were getting much better run blocking, especially from the tight ends and offensive line than they had all season.
Yeah.
And Louisville did a great job of using Chris Bell in the drag route. They would put him close to the formation, and they would send him and the tight end out in a crossing motion. A lot of time confuse the Miami's DBs, and he would just go cross formation and be wide open right in the middle, the easiest throw you can make. And Louisville did it over and over and over again, and Miami never really adjusted to that play call. They never really adjusted to the Isaac Brown drag across the middle. And it should have been something relatively easy, as in when you see when you see Chris Bell lined up so close to the line of scrimmage, the linebacker is supposed to yell drag, 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 because you know what's coming. And that should alert the other linebacker on the opposite side to look for the crossing route or the drag route and be there. But Miami never really adjusted to it. They never drag, so the opposite linebacker will fall back into coverage, leaving leaving Chris Bell wide open on those drag routes, and Louisville killed him.
It was interesting because it seemed like throughout that game, Miami refused to believe that Louisville had the athletes that could outflank their athletes. You know what I mean? So it felt like they didn't change and they didn't adjust because it was almost like they couldn't believe that Louisville had the guys that could beat their guys one-on-one, because nobody else had done it. Notre Dame
has done it before. Yeah, and like
you
look at statistically speaking, Louisville's defense, like especially Louisville's defensive line, statistically speaking, is literally like right behind Miami's defensive line range. They're literally like both in the top 5.
Yeah.
But Miami, just for whatever reason, they just didn't think that our defensive line was that good. And to Ron English's credit, they decided we're going to stop them from running the ball, make them one-dimensional, and we're going to make Carson Beck beat us.
It was weird because it felt like pretty much the only thing they wanted to do is to just try to throw that deep ball over the top to Malachi.
That was Carson Beck trying to force. Because once again, I watched a lot of videos, and I've watched a lot of coaches kind of break down the film and what they're looking at. And a lot of those deep throws, especially all those deep interceptions, was just Carson Beck. I think 2 things. One, he was just trying to force the ball deep, trying to force a pass play. Because on that one pass play, when he tried to double move with a pump fake, the wide receiver's covered. That ball should not have been thrown. Yeah. Because our DB did not bite on the pump fake at all and was right there. And Carson Beck still let it go. I think he just has too much faith in his arm strength, which is weird because he's still getting over an elbow injury.
Well, that and just simply the fact that Haven, I understand that Malachi Tony is good, but you still got, a tight end that's supposed to be really good. You have
them triple coverage. I mean, the interception.
That's what I'm saying. You have a tight end that's supposed to be pretty good. You have some other wide receivers that seem to be pretty good. The guy, number 7, I can't remember his name, but he seemed to be pretty decent as well. So it's like
Carson Beck did not take because on both of those long interceptions he threw, the checkdowns were wide open.
Yeah, Daniels, you had some other guys out there that seemed like it was just a very Miami. It just felt like Miami, like the thing that we talked about was Miami going to take Louisville seriously? And I want to say that they came in ready to play, but it felt like they weren't prepared enough. Like, I don't think that they, A, were prepared well enough, and B, I don't think they really took Louisville seriously enough that Louisville was a threat to actually be able to beat them.
I think that's some of it, but once Louisville took their run game and Miami was no longer balanced.
Yeah.
And Carson Beck felt like he had to win the game. It was over because he tried to push too much. And they tried to push too much. Because like I said, on both those long interceptions, the check down was open on
Yeah.
both of those. And the check down, it was wide open. So he could throw the check down and probably got a good 7-8 yards each time instead of throwing an interception and help move those chains forward. But
Yeah.
he kept pushing the ball deep. And hey, our linebackers and our corners can catch because they made some hellacious interceptions.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I mean, the defense was prepared, and like I said, it seemed like after Tony got that first big time play and Louisville adjusted, it was almost like the same thing that we saw against Pittsburgh, where Hicks was able to get behind Louisville a couple of times early in that game in the first half. And it was almost like, okay, we ain't gonna let that happen again. You know what I mean? Like, and it was like one of those things where it took Louisville a little bit longer to adjust in the Pittsburgh game, and that's why Pittsburgh was still able to find a little bit of success into the third quarter in that game. But in this Miami game, it was like after Miami had that first drive where they found Daniels for about a 15, 18-yard completion, and then they found Tony down the field for that 30 or 40-yard completion. That was pretty much it. Like Louisville kind of shut all of that deep ball stuff down after that first drive to make it 14-7. And they really did a great job with not giving that away. And Miami, just like you said, they just refused to adjust. So with all that being said, with the fact that Miami was being hard-headed, with the fact that, while I think there were some deficiencies, that's not to take away at all from what Louisville did. At this point, what do you feel that Louisville can hang its hat on moving forward? Like what do you know about this Louisville team? Because it's been such an uneven season so far. Like at the midway point, what do you feel you can take away from this and say, I know X, Y, and Z about Louisville as they move to the second half of the season? Or like,
Three
what can you
things.
trust? What can you trust?
3 things I can trust. I can trust the defense.
Okay.
I can trust Chris Bell.
Okay. I like it.
I can trust our kicking. I can trust our kicking game for the most part.
Okay. Yeah. That's fair. I like that.
I mean, our punt is trash.
Punter is awful.
Yeah, our punt is horrible.
Punting is that's.
Yeah.
I wonder if our kicker knows how to punt, because it seems like we have 2 really strong leg kickers. I don't know. I know it's a different motion, but those guys seem like they have strong enough legs. Can we I don't know, just like isn't there like a rule where you can like punt off of a catcher if you want to? Like
I don't know, but I was probably look into it. Because
our
man's busting like 57-yard field goals left and right, but our punter's
we
lucky to
can't
get
punt
like
the ball
35
more
yards
than
of punt.
30. Yeah. Like, can we
It's
just do
crazy.
a holder and kick the ball down the field? Like,
but those are 3 things we can trust. I believe those are 3 things we can trust, and those are 3 things that's been consistent all year long.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, and I think the same. I think that I'm not gonna say I can trust Miller Moss yet, because Miller is still just, he scares me. Like I trust that if Miller can get the ball clean out of his hands within 2.5 seconds, something good is gonna happen. I can feel like I trust, because every time he's done that this year, going all the way back to JMU, and the one time that they actually let him go back and throw the quick slant to Chris Bell, went for a touchdown. But when they've set, and that was what it was. That was the key. One of the keys to the game, Haven, coming into the Miami game, was set Miller Moss in the offensive lineup for success. Don't put them in positions where they are going to struggle. They're going to struggle with deep, 5 to 7 step drops. They were going to struggle if you had to hold on to the ball, and you had to drill it into Miller Moss's head. Hey, if you need to take a sack, take the sack. And if you can't find anybody within that first 3 seconds, throw the damn football away.
Yeah.
And like, that was the biggest thing, was trust the defense. Trust that you can lean on this defense and you don't have to go out there and score every time. This is not a year and a season in which it's going to be, the last team with the ball is going to win it. Like, this is a team that you can trust that the defense, even against the best of teams, can go out there and get stops and force punts. And I think that's I totally agree that the biggest thing that I feel that without a doubt, after what they did going on the road to Miami, Louisville has one of the best 10 defenses in the nation.
They do, and they have when Brom is dialed in, he's dialed in. I mean, seeing played three quarterbacks. You even had Colin Lacey taking direct snaps. So
Yeah.
keep Miami off guard because Miami came back to the huddle. They were like, "We've never seen this before. What's going on? Who's this? Who's this black dude at quarterback? We never seen this dude before. What does he do?" They kept him off guard. The whole like the first two drives are scripted. Really had Miami completely off guard and off kilter, not knowing what they're doing. And then getting Isaac Brown back healthy enough to where he's almost like the old Isaac Brown, where he's cutting and you know making guys miss and things of that nature. That makes a whole difference. Like Louisville having a running attack made all the difference in the world. And to me, that's the difference in the game between Louisville winning a game and losing a game is Isaac Brown and Louisville's ability to stop Fletcher from running.
Yeah. Now let me ask you. So, I agree with everything that you said. I mean, the healthier Isaac can get, the better. Now, do you think that you know is he able to kind of wash away the issue with the fumble? Because we saw it at the end of the game. You got 7 minutes left. Isaac, like I said, it was just a great play by the Miami defender. He put the helmet right on the ball, popped it out of there. Isaac was not holding the ball with two hands. He did not do a good job of wrapping it up, which made that fumble possible. But he did not get back into that game. They did put Keywan Brown in there for that last drive. Louisville was able to get a first down out of that drive, but of course they did end up ultimately having to punt it back before they got the last defensive stop. As far as Isaac's mentality, like, do you think this is something that is going to haunt him? Because, I mean, he had a bad fumble against Miami last year. He's had some big fumbles in some big games. He had a fumble, I believe, against Notre Dame last year
He
as
did.
well. That was
He
super
had a
costly.
fumble against Notre Dame last year, which was costly. The fumble against Miami last year resulted in the easy touchdown. Fumble against Virginia, which resulted in the easy touchdown, and the fumble against Miami, which resulted in easy touchdown. So he has fumbled it's not in big games. Doesn't fumble like in small games,
Yeah, yeah.
but he
Except for
fumbles
Clemson. I
but
mean,
he
except
fumbles in
Clemson, he
big
did a great
games.
job. Yeah,
Yeah. So no, but I think it was good that Brom took him out and sat him down. And you could tell on the bench he was down with his head down, because that completely changed the entire momentum of the game. Completely changed the entire momentum of the game.
yeah,
Because Miami up until that point was dead. They were DOA. They had pretty much given up. We had taken their soul, and that just gave them new life. But that's something he's going to have to, learn. He's going to have to work on, hold on to the ball because as great as a runner as you are, if NFL teams think that you are prone to fumbling, almost no matter how good you are, you still get cut. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Because you can't keep turning the ball over.
yeah. You can't fumble like that. Like, that's one thing you cannot fumble. The two things that you have to do if you want to be an every down back or a feature back in the NFL, the two things that you can't do, A, is fumble, and B, you have to be able to pass protect. And Isaac has struggled with both of those. I mean, yes, he is a true sophomore, so he definitely still has time to work on that. But it's definitely a glaring issue because, I mean, it has been costly. And on the biggest stages where he has shined and done some amazing things and the talent jumps off the page, he's got to get better with that. I mean, I don't think you harp on it with him. I'm glad that the defense was able to hold it down for him and Louisville was able to come away with that victory. Like, it would have been devastating, Haven, if Miami goes down there after that fumble, and Louisville punts it back to Miami. If Miami punches that in for a touchdown and wins that game at the buzzer, or if Louisville takes it to overtime, but ultimately Miami comes out on top, I don't know what would have been said about Isaac Brown at this point. So I mean, it's awesome that that didn't happen. I'm glad that we can move forward. If you're Coach Brom, are you like, or Coach Barkley, the running backs coach, are you like, you know, making him walk around the school like the program with the football in his hands all the time.
That's
You know, like
exactly what I was thinking about. That's exactly what I was thinking about. It's like the program. Hey, you just got to hold on, especially the last 7 minutes of the game. You got to know that they're coming for the ball. They're coming to strip you. They're coming to put their helmet on the ball. To do everything they can to get the ball out because they need that turnover.
yeah, I mean,
So,
Louisville literally could have just kneeled the ball 3 times and punted it away, and the game is over.
yeah,
Like,
because with that time he fumbled, it was like three guys. It was like three Miami players on him. It was obviously the Miami sniffed the play out. It was busted. Just go down or put two hands on the ball and and go down or what have you.
yeah.
But
Now, the one thing that with the issues with Isaac, there becomes a big question. We did not see Duke Watson in this game. We know that Duke has been banged up along with Isaac. Both of those guys were dealing with ankle issues. Duke has only played in 4 games, Haven, and we have not seen him. I have not seen the injury report for today as of yet. Um, at least I have not paid any attention to it. But like, are you with for if you're only playing 4 games, you still have the opportunity to redshirt.
or
Are you
transfer.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can redshirt that and redshirt and then enter the transfer portal. Are you worried about that? Like, what? How are you feeling about that whole side of it?
That's the business of college football. Like if he's injured again, we don't see him against Boston College. I'm going to assume he may be entering the transfer portal at that point, which I understand. It's a stacked running back room. He may not have gotten the carries he wanted to get, but some of that was due to injury. He just wasn't available to get the carries. But Louisville has like another 4-star running back coming in next year.
Yeah,
And you still have Kewan Brown, who's more than a serviceable back, and you still have Isaac Brown.
and yes,
So
the injury report as of today, Duke Watson is still listed as out. So does not show him as available to play. So he will not play this coming weekend. Jamaris Wilder, the freshman running back, the 4-star running back, he's still listed as out as well. Currently questionable Chris Hughes, Wesley Bailey, and then a few of the a backup linebacker and a couple of backup linemen. And then Micah Carter, the male product, is listed as probable. So, yeah. But I mean, I think the big news there, well, Wesley Bailey being questionable, that's, he's been questionable, I think, the last 3 weeks, and he's played every game. So, not really worried about Wesley Bailey. But yeah, definitely with Duke being out, listed as out again, I agree with you. That smells like
I'm out.
either he's out or he wants to preserve his red shirt and do a la what Colin Lacey did last year, and maybe I just run it back next year. You know, I mean, he's
I
only had
think
like 8 carries. I don't even know how many carries total he has on the year, but not many.
I think at this point, if I was Duke, I would probably transfer. To be honest with you, your stake is still high. They probably make more money on open market. I would take the money and run.
Yeah,
I mean, there's
yeah,
a stack. I mean, you already got a stack running back room. We got 4-star Wilder on the bench. They recruited another top 4-star guy coming in. You never know what Isaac may do. Kewan is still there because he's just a sophomore. He's just a true sophomore himself.
yeah.
So I may go maybe where the pastures are greener, where I can either make more money or B I get more playing time, or C I can get both. And I would not be mad at the young man to do it because that's
I
that's
wouldn't
the
either.
business of college sports.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't either. I mean, he's gotten off to a tough start. He hasn't had a lot of opportunity, and when he could have had opportunity with Isaac Brown being down and not necessarily being available to play, Duke's been hurt too. So like he's not even been able to be out there. I mean, the game, when he was out there against Virginia, he came out and ran hard the few opportunities he had. But it's a tough situation for him. I agree with you. Like at this point, with you only having limited carries, and the fact that you've only played in the 4 games, I am just gonna go ahead and say I don't expect to see Duke Watson back this year. I'm gonna go ahead and just say that because you've had 3 weeks to get over this ankle, and if you're out now for the second game in a row after a bye week, yeah, I don't think you're coming back.
Yeah.
Unfortunate. It's unfortunate. All right, Haven. So we've kind of talked about what we've learned, and what we like about this moving forward. In terms of how we look towards Boston College, of course, I don't give Boston College a lot of respect. I understand that Louisville lost to Stanford in a very similar situation after their big win against Clemson. They go out there on the road to Stanford and lose that game. I think this Boston College team is probably worse than that Stanford team. And Louisville's at home. Tell me, I mean, I know they got Bill O'Brien as the coach, but outside of Bill O'Brien being the coach, like, all right, I'm not going to say what should we expect to happen. What do you feel are the biggest keys to this Boston College game? Like what do you need to see happen? What's going to tell you? What are going to be the first things that you look for to tell you, okay, these boys are ready to play today?
Oh, it's easy. If Miller Moss only holds the ball for 2.5 seconds.
You don't want
If,
to see
if,
the team get back into let's go down the field and throw the deep ball.
nope. If Miller Moss is holding the ball for 2.5, maybe 3 seconds at the most, we're good to go. And I feel good about this team. I feel great about the game. Because, as we said before, Brom always has a letdown game. And he's almost always loses to the worst team on the schedule.
Yeah.
But it's usually the worst team on the schedule on the road. Right now, Boston College is the worst team on the schedule, but they're at home.
Yeah.
So there may be a pass with that losing to the worst team on the schedule on the road thing. So we'll have to see. But like I said, to me, the big thing is if Miller Moss holds the ball 3 seconds and less,
Yeah.
I feel really good about this game.
Would you like to see more of the Deuce Adams package?
I would. I would like to see him keep Deuce Adams in there and kind of let Deuce Adams get some more clock. I actually would like to see him throw the ball.
Yeah.
Because like if he's in there and does the wildcat all the time, that's great. The guys will suck up. The linebackers, the safeties and stuff will suck up because they think he's just going to run the ball and he won't be a threat to throw. But if he could just rip it once or twice, that'll keep everybody honest, and that will keep. That means he comes in there for that he's not a wildcat because he's the quarterback, but he comes there for the obvious quarterback sneak or run
I
play.
mean, they ran some Wildcat-esque plays with him. Like they hiked the ball to him and then used the running back as the lead blocker. So might as
Yeah.
well have been Wildcat.
Yeah, might as well. But if they keep doing that, but let them throw like once or twice, like just to keep the defense honest and to give those defense coordinators something to pay attention to, that'll make every sneak even just that much more devastating.
Yeah. I mean, and this is a Boston College team that their defense has been struggling. They have a lot of guys hurt on the defensive side of the ball. They just lost at home to UConn. Like, this is definitely the Pittsburgh year one with Brom, the Stanford year two with Brom. This is by far the worst team that Louisville will play in the conference this year. So, this is the game that most similarly resembles what the teams that Louisville has lost to the last couple of years. So I agree with you. To me, my biggest thing is get the ball to Chris Bell early, get the ball to Chris Bell often, and if you do that, I feel like Boston College is going to roll those safeties back further and further, and then you can, then hand off to the running backs, hand it off to Isaac, let him do his thing and set up the run from there. But I need to see Bill O'Brien team, they want to be able to keep the score low. They want to be able to lean on their running game. They want to possess the clock. They want to shorten the game as much as possible. So if Louisville can get out there and get an early 2-touchdown lead, get up 14-0, get up 14-7, something like that early. This is not a team that's going to come back. They just don't. They just don't. I mean, honestly, they just don't have the manpower. This is a game where, once again, the mistakes are what's going to kill you. So, I'm going to say once again, I want to see if there's nothing there. Miller Moss throw the ball away. If he's in trouble, take the sack. Don't try to be a hero. I think that probably Haven was the biggest lesson. And Brom kind of mentioned it in his post game availability after the Miami game, and he also mentioned it on Monday. Is that from Miller, he's always been in a situation where the quarterback has had to win the game, and he's always had that kind of mindset that he has to go out there and make a play. This may be the first time in his life where he doesn't have to go out there and quote unquote win the game. Does that make sense?
Just got to
Like
manage the game.
just manage the game. Just
Just
manage
manage
the
the game.
game.
And I think that's where having, and against Miami, that's what said. I think that's where having Isaac Brown being able to run the ball took an immense amount of pressure off of Miller Moss, having to feel like he had to do everything.
Yeah. And you have a
And
defense that's not going to give up a bunch of points.
yeah, and like I said, against Boston College, it's just as simple, man. Just keep the quick passing attack. Don't turn the ball over. Or if you do turn the ball over, keep it less than 2 turnovers a game. They should be fine.
Absolutely, absolutely. And before we get to kind of the predictions for the Boston College game, we of course have to announce the That Boy's Good Player of the Week award. People have been waiting on hands and knees. I've been having people sending me messages asking when we're gonna make the announcement. They've started to get used to being able to hear this, so they're very excited. Haven, you want to announce this week's winner of the award?
Yep. I think as you can see the logo on the top of the screen there, That Boy's Good goes to none other than Louisville's defensive coordinator, Ron English, for putting together a tremendous game plan that may have laid the groundwork for everybody, how everybody's going to attack Miami from here on out, based on what Ron English did on Friday night. It was a tremendous game plan, executed by the defense flawlessly. Give it up to my man Ron English, who everybody wanted to fire last year, but everybody's happy he came back.
I know it says player of the week, but you know what? That man has absolutely earned that because he was a player and a gentleman on the sidelines doing his thing. Ron English, man, like you have completely flipped the script. I give it up to you because everybody on that defense was locked in. Even though, Clev Lubin and the guys did not end up with the sack, they constantly made um, uh, uh, um,
Carson Beck,
Carson Beck. I almost said Brock Berlin. Wow, that's a
we going way back.
I know. They constantly made Carson Beck uncomfortable. Constantly kept the pressure on him. Your guys were locked in on the game plan. They did not allow that superstar offensive line of Miami's to do anything in the run game. They held the Canes to only 2.5 yards per carry, Haven Arrington. Like, absolutely shut down the running game. Miami has been able to dominate every team that they've played this year because they've been able to control the ball, control the running game, make the teams fill the box, and then that's when they're able to find Tony down the field to make those big plays. But Louisville was having none of it. It just a impressive at all 3 levels, and I think that me, you, and Roman really just felt that the best way to honor this team was just the full defensive award. And Ron English is the architect of it. He had 2 weeks to get ready for this game, and he put together just a masterful game plan. So congratulations, Ron English. You are That Boy Is Good. The Wake Up 502 That Boy Is Good Player of the Week. Congratulations. I love it. I love it. The man. Yes. So next up, just in terms of score predictions. All right. First of all, to remind everybody, let everybody know, Haven, we'll be out there at the Sigma tailgate. So let everybody know.
We'll be out to the Phi Beta Sigma tailgate. It is their it's the Louisville chapter, tall chapter, Louisville chapter Phi Beta Sigma, 100th year anniversary this year.
Wow.
So yes, we've been on the yard for 100 years at the University of Louisville. So that is mighty, mighty impressive from the mighty men of Phi Beta Sigma. We're going to be at their tailgate It's going to be right there where the Alro Steel is that field. We're going to be right there tailgating. Come on by. It's going to be awesome. And my man is bringing back his fried ribs. So
I can't wait for them fried ribs, brother. So come on out. We will absolutely be there. We are excited to be there. We were out there at the Sigma tailgate last year, and it was fire. I'm over there talking on I'm on the stream talking, and everybody else is eating food around me and carrying around all this stuff. So we're gonna get out there early. We're gonna get this get this broadcast going. But I'm shutting that thing down, Haven, so I can get me some food before we go into this game.
So what time are we broadcasting live on Saturday?
So the game kicks at 7:30 p.m. On this one is this one on the CW or ACC network, Haven Harrison?
DW.
CW. So this one's on the CW, kicks at 7:30. We Our broadcast coverage of the pregame at the Sigma tailgate will start for the Wake Up 502 pregame edition. That will be at 5 p.m. We will go from 5 until around 6, maybe a little bit later. But that'll give plenty of time to be able to laugh and talk to all the dignitaries. We want to make sure to get it in while it was still light out, because of course it is starting to get dark late earlier. So we wanted to be able to get out there, have it. So come on out there to the Sigma tailgate. We'll love to have you guys out there. Of course, you'll get more information on it on Wake Up 502 as well on on Saturday morning, starting at 9 a.m. on 96.1 FM, 1450 AM. So we will have more about that, but cannot wait to see you guys out there. 5 p.m. start for the show. We'll probably get out there probably around 4 o'clock. So feel free to come by, say hello. Might have a plate for you if you decided to come on through. There's always plenty of food and fun and fellowship. So we'd love to see you guys out there. So super excited about that. And with all that being said, Haven Harrington, give me a prediction, man. Give me a prediction. Is this thing going to be closer than expected, or do you think Louisville's going to come back off their big win against Miami and finally get the Brom bus game monkey off their back?
Well, actually, it's 2 months have to get off the back because we have not played well when they put us on the CW network at all.
That's fair.
I think we lost to Pitt, and in basketball, we lost the game. Should have won. I'll be on the CW network. So the CW has not been kind to us, but I still think we get the win. I want to say we should blow them out like 42-14 or something like that. But I'm not sure if I can trust offense to do that, honestly. So I'm going to say maybe like a 35-14.
35-14. You know what? I'm calling for a shutout, Haven Harrington.
What?
I am going to say final score 42-0.
Oh, wow.
I'm calling for a shutout. I'm calling for complimentary football. I feel like Louisville learned their lesson. I feel that Miller Moss understands now what his job is as the Louisville quarterback. I think he's going to keep the ball out of harm's way. And I do. I don't think that this Boston College offense can move the ball. And if Louisville just continues to, when it's there, take your advantages and take your opportunities offensively to go down there and score. But when it's not there, don't worry about it. Punt the ball down, make Boston College go a long field. I think that the defense will be opportunistic. I think they'll be able to get to the quarterback. I think we'll see some sacks. We may see some sack fumbles. We may even see a defensive score. But yeah, 42-0. I'm calling for a shutout, man. It's time. The defense needs to put down, because they should have gotten a couple of shutouts earlier in the season if, we didn't have those bad, ridiculous turnovers, even against EKU.
Yeah, we threw the pick six.
Yeah, threw the pick six and had to watch that mess out there. So no, I'm calling for it. I'm calling for a shutout, y'all. So,
All right, so that's pretty bold. That's pretty bold.
Yeah. We haven't seen a shutout yet this year. It's been I don't think we've had a shutout since. Did we have a shutout in Brom's first year?
I don't know.
I don't know when the last shutout. Too bad we don't have Kelly Dickey on the hotline, but I'm calling my shot. So we'll see how that works out. But it's not. I never want to disrespect an opponent, and I know that coming off what happened last year. But you know what, Haven? When you have a really good defense, it's really hard to have that letdown game. And I know that Louisville doesn't have Jack Plummer, and they don't have to worry about rain in the forecast on Saturday. So, like, to me, that
Facts.
Jack Plummer game, that Pittsburgh game, there were a couple extenuating circumstances. You lose your left tackle right before the game starts, to a injury, to a freak knee injury while he's warming up. You have a rain game where it's a torrential downpour, and Jeff Brom wanted to throw the ball 50 times in the rain with Jack Plummer. Like, it was just
Craziness.
it was ridiculous. And it was earlier in the season. I think that Louisville was still trying to figure out who they were offensively in that game. I feel like Louisville has a good handle on who they are, what they want to be. And I think even guys like Jaleel Skinner, I think will be bigger in this game than he was in the Miami game. I think that this is another game where I think Colin Lacey is going to be a big guy. I think that Trayshawn Hurry is starting to show some signs. He had some nice big catches against Miami. I think he's a guy that I think will step up and do some things. I think this is going to be a game about the other guys. Like, I think Chris Bell's going to get his, but I could definitely see Hurry. Colin Lacey he doesn't have a receiving touchdown yet this year. So we're going to see Colin Lacey do some things. We're going to see him get into the end zone. I think we're going to see a pretty dominant performance from Louisville on Saturday.
I hope so. I hope so. Now, speaking of dominant performances, what do you think about Jeff Brom being mentioned as the leading candidate for your Penn State Nittany Lions and possibly
The Florida Gators.
your Florida Gators?
I mean, there's been a whole lot of politicking about trying to get Jeff Brom up out of Louisville, hasn't there? Like the last 4 days. We've heard, everybody tell us why Jeff Brom should just leave Louisville and why, he should come join either the SEC or the Big Ten family again. Like, it's been interesting to hear about. I'm not worried about it, like, at all.
You know what? This is the first time in a long time that I have like zero worries.
Yeah.
About Jeff Brom leaving, because here's my thing. Even if he does leave, and let's say some miraculous way Penn State manages to woo Jeff Brom away, right?
Yeah.
Even if that happens,
Roman Kelly.
to me, next up is Will Stein from Oregon.
Yeah.
Like, literally, that's like the next phone call is Will Stein.
Yeah.
And I don't think we missed a beat.
Yeah. I mean, but I don't worry about Jeff Brom. And Roman, you can definitely get in on this conversation as well. Like, with the conversations about Brom, like me, I have like zero worry of Jeff Brom in any of these things. I feel like all this stuff is wishful thinking by these other programs. Do you have any worry about Jeff Brom and all the conversations with the Penn State and Florida job?
I don't have any worry about Jeff Brom with any college football team. My worries with Jeff Brom come with when one of those NFL teams come calling and say, we're going to make you the offensive coordinator.
Yeah. Yeah.
For not double what he gets paid, but, a large sum more than probably what he's getting paid now.
Oh, I think the only way that Jeff would even entertain going to the NFL would be if he was a head coach. I don't even think he would leave for a coordinator job. I think it would take, what would you say, Haven, a Bobby Petrino type offer? Because Atlanta dropped a bag on Petrino.
Oh yeah,
out of Louisville.
It'd definitely have to be like a Bobby Petrino $10 million.
Yeah, I'm right.
Yeah, crazy.
You're right. He wouldn't take a coordinator job. He would stay. He would, at that point, he would go answer Florida or Penn State's calls. At that point, you're probably right. If an NFL team said we want to make you the head coach straight away for a lot of money,
if Jerry Jones was like, Jeff, we want you to come down here, and we want you to be the coach of the Cowboys, we're gonna give you $12-15 million per season to be the coach of the Cowboys.
You got Dak, Pickens, and Lamb. Make it work.
Hey, Haven, you'd love that, wouldn't you, Haven?
He'll make it work. He'll make it work. But like I said, I am not worried at all about Jeff leaving, especially not to the college programs, because the thing is that and that's what I find so interesting is that now you have so much parity in college football with
Yeah.
NIL and the transfer portal. Like you can win anywhere. I.e., why would Signetti leave Indiana to go to another Big Ten school when he
Yeah.
can stay there with nowhere near the pressure that he would have at Penn State?
I mean, they're ready to build Signetti a statue like right now in Indiana.
And they should. IU's never been this good.
It's crazy.
Ever.
IU should be the number 1 team in the country for real talk.
They should, because Ohio State hasn't played anybody
No, at all.
at all.
Like, they haven't
Like
played anybody.
Like LSU should not be ranked because
I mean,
they haven't
Ohio State
beat
is still
anybody.
number 1 off the glow of beating Texas week 1, and Texas almost lost Kentucky. So that tells you, like that's Ohio State's best win is a team that should have lost to Kentucky. Like, I'm just saying. Like, yeah.
We'll
So,
see.
hey, Roman.
Ohio State has some games coming up. We'll see if they're serious.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know that Jeremiah Smith is that man, but I don't know how. I have no idea how good.
Actually, does
the
Ohio
Buckeyes
State like really have any games come up for real?
Their schedule is light
Because
Their
like they
schedule's
play
light.
no more ranked. They play no ranked teams at all. The only two ranked teams they played was Texas and Illinois. That's it.
And Illinois sucks.
Yes.
And
They
so
play
does
like
Texas.
They play like a Penn State team, which
Penn State was supposed to be a ranked team they played, but now they're
who knows what Penn State's going to be like without their coach.
Penn
right.
State
They've got
sucks.
Michigan. They've got Michigan last. They're 25th at the moment. Do they stay
Michigan's
there?
a bums.
Yeah, they are.
They are. That's terrible. Big Ten is terrible. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. This is why these teams won 4 automatic bids. Like, does the Big Ten deserve 4 automatic
For
bids
who?
this year?
No,
Right.
Nebraska and Matt Rule. And that's the thing, right? Like a lot of talk was like, we need to get Matt Rule from Nebraska. Same with James Franklin.
Terrible. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. I mean, I don't get it. Hey, Roman. So I just to get FYI, we actually just did our predictions for the Boston College game. So Haven predicted 35-14 Louisville win. I predicted Louisville's going to get their first shutout of the season, 42-0 is what I'm calling for the game. So I need your score prediction. I need your player of the game for the Boston College game.
Yeah, I think it's ACC games can get weird, long games, occasional stops on third down that you're not planning for. I think they get into field goal range, comfortable field goal range twice. So naturally, I want to give them 6 points. And Rashawn, I'm with you. I think we get up and over that 40 range. I think this offense walks all over Boston College. I'm talking all over them. It's really courteous to think that defense. I mean, I should be more confident in the defense to think that they won't allow them into comfortable field goal range twice. But just because things can get weird on the offensive side, now you're giving up better field goal range or field position than you planned for.
Yeah,
we still got to make sure we see a full, complete game from the quarterback position before I'm thinking that the offense isn't going to set up the other team's offense for good field position. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
I got to give him a couple field goals. So I'll go 6. Okay. I'll go 41-6.
41-6. Okay, I like it. Beat down, still a beat down. I will take that. That will definitely get the Brom Blunder game curse off of Louisville's back. If you go out there, you handle business after your big win, and you can show that you can handle success. And I think that's been the most interesting thing is that. And Haven, you talked about it and you touched on it at the beginning of the show, just the fact that so many of the national pundits still don't take Louisville seriously. It's almost like people talk about Jeff Brom himself and how awesome and how great he is, while the Louisville football program, they still leave as kind of like, eh. You know what I mean? Like, Jeff is Louisville's coach, but Louisville's not getting the respect that the coach is getting. Like, I don't know how that translates. I don't know how that computes to me, like it's one and the same, right? Like, Jeff is the Louisville coach, so shouldn't the Louisville football program get the respect?
No,
No.
I mean, 'cause
Yes.
they should, but they're not. That's because people are viewing Jeff Brom as doing. Look at the great job he's doing with this collection of bums, without realizing.
Yeah.
No, I'm serious, right?
Yeah,
Without
you're right.
realizing how much talent is really on this team, and I don't think people realize how much talent Louisville really has on this team, and some of that's because offensively, because people think of Jeff as being an offensive mastermind.
Yeah.
We really haven't blown anybody out. Like, yeah, EKU doesn't count. But like we really haven't like just laid the woodshed to teams where we just dominate offensively from start to finish.
Yeah.
And we look like we're just unstoppable on offense. So we haven't had that game yet. So I think until we have that game yet, or maybe like two of those games, people still be on the fence. It's like, oh, look, it's Lamar Jackson, those other guys, like we
Yeah.
had to, endure in 2016. It's Lamar Jackson, those other guys, like he didn't have other talent on the team. Like it was just him.
Yeah, that's true. No, that's a good point. Did you all see where Chris Bell showed up on a top 10 Heisman list
Yes,
at number 9?
I
Yeah.
did
Oh,
not.
Roman, you didn't see this?
I did not see this.
Yes, yes. I can't remember who put out the top 10 list. So there was a publication that put out a top 10 list of the Heisman favorites, and they had Chris Bell listed as the number 9 favorite for the Heisman.
Wow.
So
I like that.
yeah, yeah. I was like, wow, just the fact that Louisville, once again has somebody even popping up on there for consideration. But I mean, after what that dude, I mean, the last 3 games, Chris Bell has looked literally like the Fred Biletnikoff winner. Like, I
Yeah.
saw one ranking that put him ahead of both of the Ohio State wide receivers, and the only guy they had ranked above him was the wide receiver from USC. Was the guy that they had listed as the number 1 wide receiver? They had Chris number 2. So I mean, right now this kid is getting first team All America looks and Heisman consideration. So I think it's time, Haven, that they need to throw the ball to Chris Bell like 50 times.
dude, he can't throw too many more. Man, he gets about 15 catches a game
Keep it going.
Hey,
Keep it
man,
going.
until they stop it.
until they stop it. I mean, dude is on a tear. So good luck to him. Well, hey, fellas, but before we get out of here, I would be remiss. Y'all know what I'm about to say. We are T minus 21 hours.
Ooh.
21 hours, I guess, before we tip this basketball game off. Louisville, Kansas exhibition. Roman Kelly, since you were the one late to the party, I'm going to let you get this one started. How are you feeling about this exhibition now that we are less than 24 hours away?
I'm feeling amazing about this exhibition. On the Louisville side of things, I don't give a damn about Kansas. I don't care what they're bringing over, who they're bringing. Darren Peterson, whatever. Bill Self, best prospect I've seen in my coaching career. Shut up. I don't care. I don't care about that score first guard. Let me be honest. Let me be true. Let me be true to the listeners here. When I start hearing think Kobe Bryant about how old is he? 19-year-old?
Darren Peterson, yeah, 18, 19.
18.
I think he may have just turned 19.
Quote, think Kobe Bryant. No. Nothing he's shown. I get, he was elite in high school and in his AAU circuit, whatever.
He looked good in the McDonald's game.
Real good.
Doesn't warrant Kobe shouts. Okay? Doesn't
Yeah.
warrant the Kobe shouts yet.
Yeah.
Fellas. So I like that, but that is also really high praise, and I've seen it come from a couple different areas now. He's going to be very, very, very good. I think when it's all said and done, I do think he'll go number 1 overall.
Wow.
Hot take. So hot take. I just personally
Wow.
don't like the Kobe comparisons. He don't got that kind of footwork. He does not have that kind of footwork, so I don't want to hear that.
Well,
He does have
how about young Kobe? When Kobe just came out of high school, went
young
to the
Kobe,
league.
he's got the athleticism, he has the downhill ability for sure, like a young Kobe, but come on now.
It's just that's a lot. That's a lot to
Come
put
on now. Can you win games at the highest level? We have no idea. So let's not compare him to someone who has, one of the greatest at doing so, right? So, but that with that being said, he is an unreal prospect compared to the other guards in this class outside of Michael Brown. I think they're head and shoulders above the rest of the other guards in this class by far. I think Dibansa and Boozer is it? I just heard the correct pronunciation today. It's Dibansa, right? It's AJ Dibansa is what we've been saying.
Yes,
It's actually Dibansa or something like that.
I believe it's Dibansa.
Dibansa or it's Dibansa or something.
Dibansa.
AJ Dibansa. The potential is like that, NBA front offices eat that up, right? 6'8", wingspan, can shoot, can dribble. Technically can be a number one option at the highest level with that kind of body type. So, and that kind of skill set too. So, I do think Darren Peterson's going 1 or 2, fellas. I don't think he's going 3.
I agree with that.
I'd
be surprised to see if I'd be surprised if he drops to 3.
So what do you think that Darren Peterson? Because this is going to be the thing about this, Roman, is that Darren Peterson is going to be coming in here. They are listing him as the point guard, and I'll do this because, in my personal opinion, Darren Peterson ain't no point guard.
He's a scoring first combo guard.
He's a shooting guard that wants to have the ball in his hands all the time.
He's a shooting guard who can score very, very efficiently out of the pick and roll is what that means. That's all that means.
All I want to know is, can the kid run an offense? He's going to be coming in here in his first game, and he's going to be playing against a team that's going to run a style where you're going to constantly be hounded at the point of attack by multiple guards. So you're going to be asking a kid that's brand new to college in his first game on the road to come in there. And I know, and I listening to Mike, Rutherford, I listen to Mike, and I understand it's an exhibition game, and I understand that you have to take all these results with a grain of salt, and I agree with all of that. But these coaches are still trying to come out and win this game. And everything that we've seen, Roman, in the Cardinal commitment videos and any of the highlight videos, they're going to play full court, pretty much pressure defense from jump. And they're going to ask Darren Peterson to have to deal with that. Regardless of how good you are, the one thing that's undefeated, and that's one of the things, Haven, that we learned with Rick Pitino, is that you can get into them legs if you continue to put pressure on the ball. So I don't know. I won't say that the Darren Peterson experiment at point guard is going to go as bad as the one that happened for Cooper Flagg last night with the Mavs. I think that was Cooper Flagg's first and last game at point guard.
It won't be his last. I want to get into that.
It needs to be his last.
Remember what Jason Kidd did in Milwaukee. The start, because I feel like he was a midseason signee. Maybe he wasn't. The start of his second season there.
Yeah.
Giannis Antetokounmpo, starting point guard for the Milwaukee Bucks. This is what he does. This is what he does when he doesn't have a point guard. If I don't have a point guard, best players playing point, or best, threat with the ball in their hand that can dribble, right? And that's Giannis. That's Cooper Flagg, because you're not going to let AD do that kind of thing. That you're asking too much of an AD to do that. He's going to get better at it, but at the end of the day, it's only a matter of time before that coaching staff starts realizing, why doesn't this Cooper Flagg look like the one at Duke? Oh, because he's not
like Charles Barkley said. Why you got Cooper Flagg at point where he's passing the ball to dudes that's worse than him? He should be the dude receiving the catch and being able to attack and do the scoring rather than giving it up to these bums that can't score. He
exactly.
And props to ESPN.
Hey, Chuck is right.
When you have D'Angelo Russell.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, put D'Angelo Russell there. Use Nembhard at point. You have other guys you can run at point. Leave Cooper on the wing. Let him be a scorer, man.
Enough about Cooper Flagg. Enough about the Dallas Mavericks.
I know.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see this Louisville team, though. I don't care about what the outcome is, because I think at the end of the day, the team's going to grow and get better in so many different ways. The coaches are going to learn how this team is supposed to operate, how the rotations are supposed to look throughout multiple games after this one, right? We're going to look better and worse after this game. Like, we're going to look worse than we do at this game at some points after this game, right? And fans have to be prepared for that, because part of the transfer portal era, it's part of having a brand new team damn near every year, which we don't. We have a lot better of a foundation of continuity than most teams do. But even then, backcourt, the guys who are going to have the ball in their hands the most, the decision makers on this team, they're all new. That's going to be a big learning curve for this coaching staff as well, because they're dealing with probably, from what I know, the highest level of talent anybody in this coaching staff's dealt with. So they've been learning on the fly, right? How do you get these guys to mesh as perfectly as possible on the court, X's and O's? So that's why I don't have an outcome expectation, but I do have a expectation on how things look, right? I want to see us get up and down the floor. I want to see that pace of play. And fellas, call me crazy. It may be too much to ask. I don't want to see us let up in that pace of play from start to finish. Yes, it's an exhibition. It's an exhibition against a team that matters, a team that you may see later on down the road, a team that is going to get notoriety like you're going to want to get throughout this season, right? So I don't care what the score is. I want 100% intensity and effort from start to finish. I want 100% pace of play. Whatever the fastest ability for us to play is, I want to see it at that speed the entirety of the game.
Yeah, no, Haven, and you can tell me if you agree with this. While this game does not count because it is an exhibition, I think you still have the opportunity to make a statement.
Of course.
You see what's getting talked about with all these different exhibition games. Everyone's saying, it's exhibition games, but we're all talking about them still. Look what this team just did.
Because
Look
it's
what
real.
This team just did. Look what this team just did. Right? We don't.
You know what?
We don't want to be set up to be like, maybe Louisville isn't going to be as good as people think. We don't want that.
Yeah.
No. You know what? I just want to see with this game. I want to see how well the players mesh together, how well they flow together, and what type of defense they play, especially what kind of defense Michael plays.
Yeah.
And that's what I really, really want to see. And I think everything else kind of take care of itself. But those are two main things. Because as you go forward, and especially as we want to put together a championship-winning team, chemistry is going to matter a tremendous amount. And I still believe defense wins championships. You got to be able to stop people. You won't be able to outscore everybody because some nights your three-point shot just won't fall. So what you going to do? You got to play D. So I want to see what type of defense they play. Michael Brown is not known for being a defensive specialist. So I was kind of see just how his game looks.
Yeah. No, and for me,
he can slide his feet.
I'm the nerd. Of course, I went and broke down everything with the Kansas roster. The biggest takeaways that I got from that, they bring Trey White, the former Louisville Cardinal that came in as a transfer from USC under Kenny Payne. He's now going to be kind of their go-to guy besides Darren Peterson on the perimeter. It's going to pretty much be the Darren Peterson, Trey White show. Outside of those two guys, they have, and I know that Darren Peterson is a freshman as well. They have a very young roster. They're not as big as what we've seen from Kansas in the past. That they are very, very young, especially down low. All of their big guys, you have Flory Bandiga, who is a sophomore, who was kind of their, all everything 5-star big man coming in last year. Now Flory is going to be manning the center spot. Behind him, they have two freshman centers.
No experience in the front court.
They have no experience at all. Bryson Tiller, another highly regarded freshman coming in, but they don't have any experience down low. This is where I think that Sananda Frew and Zugris, as well as Ali Khalifa, because you're playing against so many young big men, you might be able to see those old veterans and professional players take a little bit of advantage of those young guys. So I am going to be very interested to see what Louisville's interior. I think Louisville's interior is going to have a lot more success in this game than you may expect, just because they're going to be going against a lot of young guys. Same thing on the perimeter. I think that you could see Conwell, you could see McNeely, you could see maybe a Kobe Rogers take advantage of some of these young guys out there, just with some veteran movement and just old man strength type plays, things like that. So I do think this is going to be a tough environment. I think Kansas is very much going to underestimate how crazy the crowd's going to be. Like, they're thinking they're coming into an exhibition for a sleepy game in Louisville. It's not a big deal.
Surely Bill Self's smarter than that, right?
There's going to be 20,000 screaming people in the Yum Center tomorrow night. Like, this is a Final Four game. Like, I think that I don't think Bill Self knows because Bill Self has never been here. The last time a coach brought a Kansas team
He's
to
smart
Louisville,
though.
I want to say Roy Williams was the coach. Either Roy Williams had just gotten the job. I think that Larry Brown was gone.
Yeah,
I
I
want to say
wasn't
it was
alive the
Roy.
last time we played him.
Yes, 93 was the last time Kansas came to Louisville. So like I think Roy Williams was still I think he was just young in his Kansas tenure there at that time. But yeah, like I don't think Bill Self really knows what he's getting himself into. Like it's gonna be crazy. I think you have a very motivated coach that wants to come out and win it. But I think that Louisville's gonna kind of take advantage of the youth of the Kansas guys, and I think that this game could get a little. I think it could get a little bit ugly for the Jayhawks. I don't know if they're ready for that, especially considering they're going to lean on a freshman to pretty much do everything for them. I just don't think that's necessarily a good recipe for success against such
Yeah,
a veteran
unless you're
Louisville
putting a
squad.
lot of experience around him.
Yeah. And they don't really have that. I mean, Trey White has that, but I've never really thought of Trey White as the heady veteran leadership guy. Like, I just I don't see that. So
I ain't
we'll
worried
see.
about that bullshit Trey White mid fadeaway mid range jump shot, Rashawn. That
I mean,
Trey White, am I gonna shoot it? Am I not gonna shoot it? Do I want to shoot it? Do I not want to shoot it? Mid range leaner.
I
I'm
mean,
not worried about it.
dude may come into the Yum Center and have full PTSD from his Kenny Payne years. Like he
In all
may get
serious though, he was like, I, I don't even know how to say it because I can't say the one bright spot of that team, but I felt like the one guy who played hard consistently and didn't make boneheaded plays all the time.
yeah.
You
Yep.
know,
Pretty much the only one on that team, right?
I mean, him and Scott Clark, were
Even
pretty much
Sky though, Sky the shot selection at
he had his
times got
time.
a bit.
Yeah, he did.
I
But
mean,
Kenny Payne was out there running the do yo man offense. So like,
Yeah, the whoever offense.
Haven, like is there any specific player that you want to see get out there? I know that everybody always talks about Michael. Everybody talks about the fancy new toy. But is there anything or anybody that you really want to see like make their debut or
I want to see them all. Like,
yeah, you just want to see how
honestly,
it's all gonna work.
yeah, I'm gonna see how it's going to work because as Cardinal fans, unless you watch a lot of European ball, you have no idea what Zoo and Fruit play like.
That's fair. That is absolutely
You
fair.
have no clue. I don't think you've seen a highlight films from practice.
There's been a lot of hype around Zugris too. I'm gonna say that
Yeah,
there's been a lot more hype around Zugris than Sananda Fruit. Even though Sananda Fruit is the guy that everybody always breaks down and talks about how
Yeah,
great
I
they. If
feel
you
like
listen to Roman Kelly, you think that Sananda Fruit is gonna be the greatest thing ever. But the
he.
only guy that the coaching staff ever wants to talk about is Zoo.
But I'm
that's
going to
that's,
see him because all these guys play European ball, and I don't watch European ball.
that's because Fru's meeting the expectation, Rashawn. That's because they said he's the real
Fair.
deal. They said he's crazy, and he's over here doing that. He's over here doing exactly what they thought. So
Fair.
it's just he's meeting the expectation.
So let me ask you. So
You,
I'm not
you
gonna
gonna
ask you about starting
you gonna
lineup,
like Fru?
huh? Oh yeah, oh absolutely. I think we totally gonna like Fruit, and I'm not gonna ask about starting lineups. Pretty much everybody has the same starting lineup for the most part. The whole Michael
I'm gonna
Conwell.
come out and say it. I
It
don't like
doesn't
that
matter.
starting lineup. I don't like that starting lineup.
Well, what I was
McNeely,
gonna ask is, what lineup do you want to see out there? Like during the game, if Kelsey starts playing with lineups, what would be your dream lineup to say, I want to see how these 5 guys are gonna work together?
I like size and I like defense, Rashawn. You know that. I'm not a 3-guard kind of a guy. Never have been. Maybe will be. Pat Kelsey
Okay.
may be able to do so for me. I may be able to dumb it down to the college level. I can be okay with the 3-guard system at the college level, but ultimately in basketball, it's not my thing. I don't like the 3-guard lineup, but we have a player who I'm hearing is a much, much better defender than expected at his size and at his position in Adrian Woolley. Now, fellas, defense No, you know the saying. I don't even need to say it.
Yeah.
In the Pat Kelsey system, defense is very, very important because defense is the start of our offense. A Pat Kelsey system thrives in transition. What
Hmm.
makes transition stops, getting long rebounds, right? Getting out and running, not having to inbound the ball underneath the basket.
Yeah.
Adrian Woolley's a better defender than Isaac McNeely, I'm hearing. And if he's also the offensive talent, it sounds like, where he may be like one of the best slashers on the team, if not the best slasher next to Michael on the team. The 1-2-3 punch in Michael Brown, Ryan Conwell, and Adrian Woolley, fellas, I think would be unreal.
Okay.
In terms, and then you bring in Kobe Rogers, your playmaker, your experienced vet playmaker who knows the system. You bring him along, Isaac McNeely. You say, fellas, we're going to give you all defense for your 2-guard lineup, and you go Javon Hadley, Kanai Roos, and Zugris, maybe to give Sonatafru a little bit of rest. You bring in an Ali Khalifa. You bring in one of the guards back in. You kind of let a little bit of an offensive thing go. I want to see all of that. But I think ultimately, though, fellas, like I want to see a lot of Adrian Woolley minutes because, I mean, the biggest question mark is Sonatafru. What does he look like? Can
Yeah.
if the Kennesaw State kid looks like he might be one of the 3rd best player on the team, now we're getting scary because the expectation was if Woolley can come in and be the 5th best player on this team, now we're talking like this can be a crazy team. That was where kind of the expectation is. So I'm really excited for that. Another thing though, I like size.
Yeah.
I want the Michael Brown, Adrian Woolley, Javon Hadley,
Yeah.
and double big. Or
Okay.
Kanai Roos and a big.
Okay. Yeah.
I want to see that lineup out there. Maybe not as a starting lineup, but I want to see that lineup out there. 2
I would.
guards, Javon Hadley, and 2 bigs, or Kanai, because hypothetically, in that size versatility, Kason Pryor at full health is who you want out there in a lineup where you've got 2 guards, because that's giving you that 3rd ball handler in him, right? If
Yeah.
Kanai Roos can't really be that, now it maybe gets a little bit clanky with Isaac McNeely and Kobe Rogers. But Isaac McNeely was a primary ball handler in Virginia. He can conduct offense as well. So I would like to see some 2-guard lineups with some size out there.
Haven, what about you? I know you. I don't necessarily. I know you're not the biggest, especially with in the heart of football season. You may or may not be thinking about basketball lineup, so I wasn't gonna throw you out there. But I'll leave it to you if you would like to answer that question. Is there any?
To me, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I said this before. It doesn't matter who starts
Yeah.
with the Pat
Doesn't.
Kelsey system because the guys gonna be there for 3-4 minutes anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's gonna be somebody new.
So it won't matter. And I think with this being a true exhibition game, I honestly believe, yes, he's going to play to win, but he's also going to play to see who works well under pressure with these guys. Because, like, you see these guys in practice. He's practiced with them, but you never see him in live fire. So you really don't know how these guys are going to react. You know the guys who are returning, you know how they're going to react. But you have no idea how these new guys are going to react. Because you see them on film, you see them in Europe, you see them in, wherever other schools they played in, but you haven't seen them yet underneath live action. So I think Kelsey, especially his first game, even throughout the season, really, I think he's going to mix it up quite a bit, and you're going to see all sorts of different cats out there and all sorts of different groupings. I don't think there will be like a standard starting lineup.
Yeah.
And if as long as they stay healthy, I don't think you would ever see a standard starting lineup with this team on the podcast. So honestly, I think it may change depending on who they play and what the other team presents. Is who you're going to get.
Oh, that's fair. No, that's absolutely fair. Well, and look, I'm gonna say this: that the one lineup that I would love to see out there, just because I think it would be very interesting, if we could ever have a pairing down low of Zoo with Ali Khalifa, and you have your physical kind of aggressive rebounder guy who can, guard a 4, and have him out there with Ali Khalifa, who's the consummate passer. And then you could have, like, say, maybe a Kanai Roos at the 3, and you can go 7 foot, 6'8", 6'11" in your front court. And then you can have like a Brown.
Now you're talking. Now you're chatting my language now.
Michael Brown and Adrian Woolley out top. Like, that would be such a fun group to have out there together. You know,
That's why
like,
I want Case and Pryor back. I want
yeah,
because then you can bring out like
absolutely.
I think the tandem of Case and Pryor fully healthy and Ali Khalifa could be very scary because they can interchange. If you
Hey, and
don't like,
Casey was running 5-on-5 in the Cardinal commit. Have you watched the Cardinal commitment video yet?
I haven't completed it yet.
Oh, you gotta watch it because Case and
I
Pryor
watched
was
about the
running.
first 8 minutes of it.
Say, so you didn't see any of the 5-on-5 run
Mm-mm.
stuff then? Yeah, no. Case and Pryor was running full 5-on-5 in there. So
Is he getting
like,
up off the ground and all that?
oh yeah, no. That's what I'm saying, dude. You gotta watch it tonight. Watch.
So you think he'll play?
It looks like he's running fives. If you're running 5-on-5 full court,
You ready to
you're
play?
back. Yeah, you're back. So just watch the video, and then you'll have to text the group chat,
Yeah.
and let me know what you think, because it looks like Case is back, like back all the way.
Hell yeah.
Like I think that was one of the interesting things that I thought they tried to kind of sneak into that video. Plus, I love the fact that they wanted to feature Kanal Roos in this one, and kind of give him some shine because there not been a lot talked about him throughout the preseason and over the summer. There really wasn't a lot of talk about him. So I think they tried to do an opportunity to kind of feature him. So just a couple of things to look out for, but. I just wanted to get that breakdown, fellas. I'm super excited. I'm glad basketball's back. Yes,
I'm
Haven.
ready,
We know it's still football season, Haven. We know we just
Your
beat
Hurricanes
Miami,
got slapped up, Haven.
Yes, exactly. This dude was over there, Roman Kelly. We were watching the game, and Haven Harrington is over there on the couch, not knowing who to cheer for, not believing his eyes as Louisville just went up and down on his beloved U. He was in internal conflict. How did that feel, Haven? Just the conflict.
I was in a win-win situation.
You
Both-
were. I mean, it was funny. It was funny to watch. But thank you so much. We went a little bit long on this because I did want to give a little bit of respect to basketball. Roman, I'm glad you were able to join in. Y'all got any prediction for the score tomorrow for the exhibition?
Yes. 87-79, Cardinals win.
I like it. Haven Harrington?
No clue.
No idea. Hey, I'm going to say 195. I think this is going to be up and down. I think Kansas wants to get up and down. They got a lot of young guys. They want to run and gun. Louisville wants to run and gun. This is going to be a very different year for Bill Self. They don't have Hunter Dickinson anymore. This is not going to be your plotting, throw it down to your 7'2", 300-pound center. Like, that's not going to be the way Kansas plays this year. There's not going to be a lot of game plan. It's going to look like a pickup game, y'all. It's going to be up and down. Louisville's going to be throwing up threes inside 12 seconds most possessions. So I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I mean, it would not honestly surprise me if both teams got into the triple digits if Kansas is able to shoot the ball well. But I do. Give me 100.
I think so, too. I just think that there's going to be some weird young guard play happening out at Kansas.
Yeah.
You're going to get you're going to get a good amount of the Mo Kamara minutes. You know what I'm saying? You're going to get a good amount of the Zugris minutes. I think you're going to get a good amount of the Kobe Roger minutes with them out there where you're probably slowing down the offense a little bit, getting into just a little bit more pick and roll stuff, trying to incorporate those guys as well. Seeing if you can get Kamara, off a pin down or something downhill. Right. Some things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think when in those minutes, that'll slow the game down enough to where, right underneath that 90 to 80, like 90 for us threshold for us, and Kansas probably getting around that 75, but under 85. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why I got that
makes sense. I like it.
Fair. I like it. I'm excited, y'all, man. Let's get it. Super excited. Make sure everybody comes check us out. Make sure you subscribe to videos, follow Main Event Sports on YouTube. Please like and subscribe. Make sure you check out everything. We will be out at the Sigma Tailgate. We are coming to you. Where will we be at on Saturday?
And an Alro Steel. That field right in front of Alro Steel.
Okay, there we go. So we'll be out there at Alro Steel.
Central whatever. I've got
Avenue, Central Avenue.
Central Avenue.
Central Ave. So we'll be right over there. Roman Kelly, you gonna be joining us? Are you gonna be able to be out there on? I know you're the
play-by-play for my first game, fellas, down
There
at
you go.
Midway. I was doing
All
color
right.
on their first home game. I did the color. This time I'll be doing the play-by-play. Justin will be doing the color. So
Hardest
unfortunately,
working
they
man
have
in show business, man.
Look
I'm
at him
telling
do it.
you.
they've got a 7 p. Fellas, you guys have helped me manifest it. But
I love it.
they've got
I
a
love
7
it.
p.m. game, so gotta have the game cast on for the Cards. I'll be watching Midway.
Absolutely.
But I'll be,
Understand.
I'll
Go
be,
Midway.
I'll be cheering.
I know you will. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for checking us out. We will be back Saturday morning, 9 to 11 a.m.,
I'll be there, though.
96.1 FM.
I'll
You'll
be there.
the radio?
Yes, sir. I'll be there this
My
Saturday.
man. Beautiful, beautiful. This is Rashawn Myers for Haven Harrington, Roman Kelly. Check us out coming up this Saturday. This is Wake Up 502 After Dark. And like we always like to say, without struggle,
There is no
There
progress.
is no progress.
there it is. Peace. Appreciate y'all.